Hi, what's up? So I've decided that if I'm going to make this thing full-time, this craftsman, this YouTube, this online presence thing, I'm going to have to change some things about my life because I can't do this just rolling through like everything's going to be hunky-dory. I have to be organized, and I have to do things like a professional if I'm going to try to pretend to be one. So, here's first step. I have cleaned off my workbench completely. Still some stuff on the walls, but whatever. The bench itself is clean. There's everything that came off the bench. I am going to organize this and make it usable instead of just a conglomeration of junk. The first thing I'm going to do is build a dust collection vacuum hose right there, because this is ridiculous. And I have no idea how to do it, but that's okay, because I ain't got no plans. So I've seen plans for these dust collectors all over. I've seen similar ones, but I don't have any plans. So I'm just gonna make it up as I go. First thing I did is I found a piece of some old plywood I had. Get off my camera. Old piece of plywood. And that's going to be where my vacuum hose connects. I'm going to make this piece where all of the other vacuum hoses that are going to be the stationary ones that I can switch between, I'm going to make the holes in that. Problem is, I don't have a big enough drill bit. So I'm going to have to drill out as big as I can and then probably use my router to widen the holes. Should be fun. So this is the piece that I'm going to have my vacuum hose connect to. And it's going to have the ability to slide between these other three holes. So this one is going to be my benchtop dust collector. This one is going to be a floor dust collector. And this one is going to be a hose that I can just move around and take wherever I want. So next thing I'm going to do is chop this off. So since I don't have drill bits anywhere near that large, I'm going to get as large as I can on these small ones and then use my router to go bigger. I think I'm going to end up doing the same thing on this one, just so I can fit the vacuum hose in it. Remember, whether you're drilling, sanding, doing any kind of work like that, you need to be wearing your proper protective equipment, your PPE. Wear some eye protection, and if you're sanding, wear some lung protection. It doesn't hurt to wear lung protection a lot, especially in the wood shop. All sorts of stuff can be getting into your lungs, causing all sorts of problems. So wear your stuff. So it's kind of hard to tell right now, but I was getting some major league shaking as I was doing this drilling. I got smart pretty quick and went and got myself a block to stop anything if it were to catch and flip around at me, and to try and help stop a little bit of that shake. And it did exactly what I wanted it to do, but man, I need to replace that bit because it was just wobbling all over the place the entire time I was drilling. Really made me feel not comfortable. Got my holes drilled. Definitely not big enough. So I'm going to have to use my router to take this part out and meet that line on each of these. Should be fun. So here I'm just using a regular cutting bit. It looks like a drill bit with a lot more aggressive edges. But you can see that as I take little bit by little bit, it's working very, very well. Didn't really give me any chatter or any problems, but you cannot take huge cuts with this or you will find yourself in a deep, bad situation because it will cut farther than you want it to. And then you're just kind of stuck. It was at this point I decided I really didn't want to do the next ones like this because the opportunity for a mistake was just way too high here and it didn't make me feel comfortable. It was just bouncing.
You know what? Hold on.
That kind of sucked. We're going to do that a different way with the other three holes. We're going to set up a scroll saw, cut out the majority, and then use that bit to take out whatever is left. That would be way smarter. That's what we're doing. This worked infinitely better than the router did. Way easier to control. Didn't make me feel uncomfortable at all with how it was jumping around. Just sticking on those lines, though, is the hardest part because they are tiny, and sometimes the saw does not want to go with you where you're trying to push it. And here you can see the blade break. So I went and got a new one, and we're all good and just kept right on going. So I realized I was not going to be able to cut the hole in my bench top the same way that I did in those pieces. And I was really confused for a moment how I was going to do that. I was like, I really don't want to bring my router over here and deal with that. And then my lovely wife was like, don't you have a hole saw? Yeah, I do. I'll be using that instead. So we're gonna go from below and drill up so I don't have to guess at where the supports are down there that I gotta miss. So wish me luck. So I was trying to come from the bottom. That sucked. So I just drilled my pilot hole from the bottom, and now we're gonna go from the top with the hole saw. Oh, problem with battery. Okay, cool. Switch that puppy out. Another one right here. Remember, kids, when you switch out your old battery, you should go put it on the charger before you do anything else. That's what I'm gonna do. Alright, that one's so hard. Staying organized. That is the name of the game here. Woo, we are getting a hot drill bit. That's what we gotta be careful with. That's why I didn't want to go too fast. We'll slow down a bit and let's see what happens. Stopped. Huh. I don't know. Might try fast again and just start smoking real bad. Just pull her out. Okie dokie. Well, I got part of it. It's hot. I'm not touching that for the moment. I can see the smoke going off. I don't know if you guys can or not, but that's crazy. Ooh, yeah. Heat coming off there is no joke, so we're gonna try and just come on, maybe just a little bit farther. So freaking close. I'm gonna get that. Oh, I'm gonna get that out of there first, actually. Just a minute. Got it. Round 2. We are so close. Come on. Oh wow, that was it. Oh, I got a hole in my bench now. So, got that cut. Got that cut. And I went ahead and actually cut the frame of my box while you guys weren't looking. Next step is going to be sand these down real well. Sand this down. I'm going to put 4 holes in here and mark those full 4 holes in each of these as well, because I'm going to put magnets in this, so when I slide it along, it goes and just stops over the hole it's supposed to be on by the power of magnets. Here we go. So I got everything sanded nice and smooth. Check it. Oh, it just glides across. Beautiful. Got my 4 holes drilled. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go along and make sure this is the way I want it. There we go. You know, I'm going to mark this as top. Right there. Top. Beautiful. Now I'm going to hold that there. Push through real good that nail 4 times. Be careful not to move. There, I've got 4 good indentations of where my magnets need to go. Pretty well lined up there. Do the same thing. Come here. That one doesn't feel like it did anything, actually. Let's try that one again. Oh, no, I did. Good, right there. And last one. Actually, I better move this one for a bit. It's kind of falling off the edge. There we go. Perfect. Got all my holes marked where my magnets are going to go. Now I'm going to take a Forstner bit and drill the holes for those so I can set the magnets in. And hopefully they start drying. If you were to ask me what tool got used the most in my shop, it is absolutely this drill press. It's made by Wen. I freaking love it. We use it every day. It's got this built-in light and the laser. It's got a built-in speed adjust. It handles everything I throw at it. I freaking love it. When, if you see this, we should talk. I have a couple of your other tools as well. I like them. I happen to know that if I go the full depth of this head right here, I'm like perfect for where my magnets are. So there you go. Have it. Magnets will sit down in those holes and clamp together whenever I start pushing this thing. Gonna be a thing of beauty. Good morning. It is the next morning. I stayed up way too late doing some organizing out here, but we're gonna move on because I got the box cut out, ready to assemble. I got the hole drilled through the bench top. Got the hose fed up through there. I haven't secured it yet. I think I'm going to use expanding foam. But first we're going to put this box together. So we got our piece that is going to hold all 3 of the hoses and the piece that's going to hold the vacuum hose. As you can see, the magnets have set overnight and look how well they work. Oh geez, that's awesome. That holds so well on there. Once I've got everything put in here, it'll be really, really nice being able to switch back and forth between these 3. Next, I'm going to put rails on top, bottom, and the sides to hold this piece in so I can just slide it back and forth between these 3 different settings. So let's do that now. So I got the frame set up. I did not put the end on yet because I haven't got our last piece figured out and attached to the hose yet, so I didn't want to lock it in before I had gotten all the other hoses attached here. But check this out. So I'm going to put it in here and show you how well it goes. So it's just going to hold itself in with this track. It ain't the prettiest, but it's going to work. Beautiful. So I did make this top piece longer so I can drill through it up into the workbench and secure it with some screws there. It's going to mount underneath so it's out of the way. This is going to work really well. So to get this pipe to stick in these holes, I'm going to go ahead and use some liquid nails. Construction adhesive, this stuff is awesome, and I think it's going to hold up really well, especially with the suction and just the pressure that this system is going to be set up under. So I'm just going to put a thin bead around this groove and try and get it to set in here. I don't know how I'm going to hold it yet, so that's going to be the fun part. I think that should be enough. Let's see if we can get it to set in here now. And I don't want it coming out, sticking out really the other side. So I'm going to kind of move it around a bit. About right there is where I want it. Now it's going to be the fun trying to hold it there while this cures. So after some finagling, I've got a clamp here, but it's spread out my adhesive really well, so I'm going to add a little bit more of a bead around the edges of this to try and see if I can seal this up real well. Well, that's so much better. I'm going to do it like this in the first place. Yeah, well, lessons learned. I am just going to use my finger to kind of smooth that out, make it look a bit more professional. You know what? I've probably got enough on my finger to do the other one. Clamp this down. Okay, this one's nice and in there. I'm gonna put another bead around that second one. Once this cures, I'll give it a test, and if need be, apply a little bit more of this stuff on the other side real carefully so it's not going to gum up our track. It's been a really long day. We did a lot of organizing here in the shop, but now that liquid nails is set, and I can put the rest of the pieces where they need to go. So let's continue with that. So I went ahead and drilled some mounting holes in here. We are going to countersink these and then drill this, not drill it, attach it to the bottom of this bench and then feed the hose up through there. Okie dokie. So I got my stuff countersunk. I gotta just choose where I'm gonna put this down here. I'm intending to put the vacuum right here. So I'll probably move that selector, I guess, to a little bit farther over so it's not directly above it. Give us a little bit of room to play with. So I went ahead and drilled some mounting holes in here. We are going to countersink these and then drill this, not drill it, attach it to the bottom of this bench and then feed the hose up through there. Okie dokie. So, got it mounted down here. I will put the slide piece in here in a moment. We're gonna take this back tube, feed it up through that hole, cut it off and secure it, and I think I'm gonna do that with spray foam. This is set into where I can move it later. If I decide that I don't like it facing this way in the bench. Maybe I want it facing out. I can change that. But for now, we're gonna go with this and see what I think. Okay, then we got our hose pulled up through. We're gonna use this touch and foam, home sealing foam, the minimum expanding stuff, just to fill in this crack, let it expand out and hold this in place. Once it's held in place, I will trim off the excess amounts of this. And I think what I wanna do is put a screen of 1/4 inch mesh over the top of here, so I can just like push stuff towards it and it will, and it won't take like any nails or screws or anything. I just want this to be dust collection. So we're gonna put something over top of it to make sure that nothing goes down it that I don't want going down it. Here we see the caveman trying to figure out why his new tool doesn't work. He reads the directions, still can't figure it out, thought he was doing it right. And then, all of a sudden, it worked. So, first big problem that we've run into. I am gonna have to figure out a way to keep the end of my vacuum hose in here without actually gluing it. Because if I glue it, then I can't use it for anything else. I'm thinking I get some PVC pipe that will either sleeve into this or on top of this. That was weird. But the only hardware store in town with PVC pipe is currently closed. So it's gonna have to wait till morning. So kind of stuck till morning. Alright. Guess we'll just wait until then. See what the morning brings us. Hi! So this morning I've already been to Ace and we figured out what we're gonna do to get the vacuum hose to attach. We're gonna use this rubber coupling. The hole that I've got in the slide piece is not big enough, so I'm gonna have to widen that out a little bit just for this. But the vacuum tube fits in here incredibly snugly. So once I get the hole a little bit wider, I can shove this in there. Might super glue it, might not. We'll see how well it friction fits. And then we've got a really nice way to get this in there. I think it's gonna work really well. Well, it's a pretty tight fit. I think I am gonna run a bead of super glue in here though, just to make sure it stays, because like it's tight, but I'm worried about it coming out. And I've decided before I even test it this way, I hate it. I'm going to turn it so these face out. Got it switched. I love it. That did cure, so we're gonna go up here, do some work right there. So with this being set in here cured, I think I'm just gonna take a carpentry saw and slice it off flat. And this is gonna be where I can push everything, like all sawdust and stuff, just boom, straight down that tube. All right, it's gonna work. Right through the foam, no problems. I'm gonna hit. Feel it fighting. Come on, baby. Right on through. Yes! Oh, that's perfect. Just flush with the top of the bench. Everything just foomp down. Love it. Well, we've got a problem. This is all mounted in, that's great. This is all set, great, but what? Oh, geez. Watch what happens when I try and put it in. These rails are too in the way. I'm gonna have to pull them off and make them skinnier. Dagnabbit! Yo, thank God for wives. Mine made a really good point. I don't need the rails on here because these magnets are very strong and hold it on here no problem. And if something were to get stuck in here and I have the rails on here, I'm gonna have to rip it apart anyway just to get whatever is stuck in here out. So, smart woman, we're gonna go with it like this because I don't think that's going anywhere. We've got this installed down here. Got this put together, so we're gonna stick it up in. Nope, it's definitely too heavy. I'm gonna have to have a rail on the top, because if I have a rail on the top, it'll hold that in. Okay, we're gonna put that back, I guess. Looky here. Got a rail in. I can still lift it up, pull it down, pull it out. The magnets are holding it in spot. Oh yeah. Let's test this puppy out with our one dedicated tube right now. Oh, we have suction! Yeah! Oh, yes! It freaking works! It works! Oh! Hey, just shows what you can do. You don't have to have a plan, just gotta figure it out. Because sometimes life is like that, you figure it out along the way. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Stick around after this for a little bit of word about a giveaway I'm doing on here. And thanks for hanging out. Bye. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. So, if you want to be entered into the drawing to win this miniature axe, all you gotta do is tag someone down below in the comments. After this channel reaches 20,000 followers, I will go through those comments, put everybody in a list, and do a randomized drawing to see who gets this. This axe was made out of a circular saw blade, walnut handles, and brass handle pins. I made it a couple years ago, and it's just been chilling out in my shop with me ever since. So, you know how to enter, you know what's going to happen when someone wins. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Good luck to you all.